Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, YAHAWAH, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. BaHashem, meaning in the name. YAHAWASHI, meaning He is our salvation. And that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Which brings us to our discussion / topic this afternoon, is that the Lord is a just power, okay? The Lord is just, all right? And we're going to look into that word just, okay? Because as I was reading this chapter the other night, it shows the justice in our Lord that we serve, okay? That He isn't going to allow these other nations to get away with what they done to us, okay? They're going to have to pay, just like we had to pay, all right? But worse, let me say that. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36 and verse 1. And we're going to read a few verses in this chapter, probably down to like 17. It says, "Have mercy upon us, O Lord, power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee." So see, there's a separation between Israel and all the other nations that seek not after Yahweh, all right? And He's going to bring just or balance to those nations, okay? It says, "Lift up thy hand against the strange nations." See? And He's going to lift up His hand when He sent His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, to come back on our behalf, all right? It says, "And let them see thy power, as thou wast sanctified in us before them." Right, because through us, we were shown what would happen if you disobeyed the Lord. All right, all these other nations, they know who we are. We were the last ones to find out who we were. Okay, because why? They were all in cahoots, or they were all under one accord to come against us as a nation. As it says in Psalms 83, "Let us cut them off from being a nation." So they were all complicit in our slavery, in our oppression, in our being not a nation. All right. So the same way that the Lord sanctified us in them, it says, "As thou wast sanctified in us before them," and they're gonna know that the Lord is a just power, and He's going to what? It says, "So be thou magnified among them before us." See? So the Lord is going to magnify us before them. All right? It says, "So be thou magnified among them before us." He's going to show these other nations. All right? This is what happens when you touch the apple of my eye. When you touch my elect, when you touch my chosen, you don't get to touch without a repercussion, all right? And that recompense is coming, okay? It says, "And let them know thee." See? It's been a while since the Lord made His name known, all right? Coming back from when we left out of Egypt, and He brought those plagues onto Egypt, where He put away and killed off the firstborn, where He made the night so thick and dark you can feel it, where He plagued the land with locusts and frogs and lice and turned the water to blood. It's been a while, okay? These other nations, they don't seem to remember. So the Lord is going to have to tighten their ass up and get them back on point so that they can remember, all right? And He's going to send His only begotten Son to get the job done. It says, "And let them know thee as we have known thee." See? We had to find out the hard way. This is what happened when you disobey. Okay? He sent us his love, his elect. He sent us, his chosen people, into slavery, hardcore bondage. How much more you that he compares to a drop of a bucket, a spittle. He can care less. See? So how much more you that he don't even care about? Of course you're going to get it. It says, and let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O power. See? They going to learn that all them idols that they worship, Buddha, you name it, sweet Jesus, Sheba, any other idol, he gonna let them know, man, it's only one power. You ain't gonna be able to call on those powers. They ain't gonna answer. See? Matter of fact, he gonna take you and your idols into slavery, man. Because he gonna break you, all right, through his only begotten son, YAHAWASHI. He gonna break you like a potter's vessel. It says, and let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O power. See? And we had to find out the hard way, man. All right? It says, show new signs, all right? And make other strange wonders, right? So the signs that he showed in Egypt, it's going to be newer ones than that that's going to be put here on earth, okay? And these heathens, these other nations are going to know, all right? We already seeing, or they already seeing, the fact that the servants, the prophets, are prophesying against this man in his own kingdom. That's a new sign in itself, okay? Here it is. We're in captivity, but the Lord set it up so that we can prophesy in this own man's captivity via by the way of his so-called internet, okay? So now we can put up videos and reach a broader band or broader audience than we could back then in the ancient days, which we still in the ancient days, but back then, okay? The internet is a new sign, okay? So not only do you have men on the highway and hedges prophesying against a wicked kingdom, which would have been impossible 60, 70 years ago, but now you have the internet as well. It says, show new signs and make other strange wonders. See? So you gotta understand, if you thinking that this is just something that happened by sheer coincidence, tune in, stay locked in. You're going to see that this is prophecy. It says, and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm. See? When YAHAWASHI shows up, they going to see a so-called black man. They ain't going to be expecting that. And when he shows up with the host of heaven, the army, the chariots, along with Michael the archangel at his side, it's going to be it's you know what it's going to be. Time for the talking is going to be hush, shut it up. All right? It says, show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Right? So see, when YAHAWASHI comes back, he going to set forth Yahweh's wondrous works, all right? Which is what? Ushering in the missiles and coming with the chariots to destroy stuff and to deliver the elect of Israel, okay? Verse 7, raise up indignation and pour out wrath. It ain't nothing nice, man. All right, see, you thinking the marvelous works is something where he going to come and save the whole earth. No, his marvelous works is the missiles that he got set aside for a particular time and his second coming of his only begotten son, YAHAWASHI. All right? So it says, raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. See? These other nations, man, they got to go into slavery. All right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Lord does not love all of the nations. All right. He only loves Israel. You only have I known out of all nations. That's specific. He's only dealing with the nation of Israel. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. The other nations he could care less about, which is why he's going to destroy them. All right. And what? Make them into what? Slaves. Psalms 2. He told his son, Yahawashi, David prophesied, said to Yahawashi, ask of the heathens and I will give it to you. David was prophesying in Psalms 2. It was about Yahawashi. All right. The Lord Yahweh is going to give Yahawashi slaves. And we're heirs, and Yahawashi is going to share that with us. We're going to have slaves in the kingdom. So it says, raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Sake the time short. Remember the covenant. See? The Lord is bound by his word. All right? He said he wasn't going to forsake us. Jacob, my servant. And let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire. See? Those elites that, got bunkers elsewhere that think they're going to escape, they're going to be consumed by the rage of fire. When Yahawashi shows up, and he sends those angels to hunt, to pull them up out of their caves, you think it's going to be nice? No. What does it say? Isaiah 47, I will not meet you as a man. Yahawashi isn't coming back. He came the first time meek like a lamb, but this time he's coming back like the lion. This is Isaiah 47 and 3. It reads, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. The Lord is showing up like something you never seen before, okay? Which is going to throw people off, which is going to have people shaking in their boots, which is going to have people giving up the ghost, giving up the spirit for what's getting ready to come. They don't know, all right? They don't know. And when they give up the spirit, the Lord can put it right back in them to bring them back, all right? But those that perish over here in the United States of America will be brought back in the kingdom through their counterparts elsewhere that was able to escape the fire, okay? Specifically the elites, all right? They're going to bring back the counterparts of their brethren that gets destroyed here in America, whether they're Edomites, the so-called white man, Moabites, the so-called Chinese man, you name it, Hamites, the so-called African nations. You see, they're going to all be brought back through their counterparts elsewhere throughout the earth that don't get destroyed by the missiles like here in Babylon the Great, the United States of America. So it says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. See? So the Lord ain't coming back to, save everyone. All right? The Lord is just, man. Yahweh sending his only begotten son, Yahawashi, to only save the elect of Israel at that. So how you other nations think you're going to get chosen over his own people? He's only coming to save the elect of his people. So how much more you damn other nations, man? Y'all going to get it, man. All right? Enjoy it while it lasts, as they say. So back to Ecclesiasticus 36 and 7. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Sake the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Right? Because they going to feel it, man. All right? They going to declare it. All right? These wonderful works. All right? It's wonderful for us. Not so wonderful for them. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Right? Who do they oppress? the Israelites. All right. It's in Isaiah 47. We was just there. It says that what? They put the yoke on the elderly, the ancient. This is Isaiah 47:6. It reads, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. See, it wasn't you that did it, you so-called white man. It was the Lord that was wroth with us because we disobeyed him, and he gave you us in your hand. But guess what? That time is running out. Now he's getting ready to reclaim us. By what? The way of his only begotten son, YAHAWASHI. It says, thou didst show them no mercy. You didn't show us no mercy while we were under your care, while we were under your watch. You didn't show us no mercy. You worked us to the bone, man. You had our elderly parents and grandparents out there in the cotton fields, in the tobacco fields, working them all day, working them till they passed out, working them till they gave up the spirit. You know, even to the day, you still got them working and having them retire at 65, 70 years old, where the lifestyle that they live don't give them that much time after that to even enjoy anything. It says, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. See, you work them to the bone, man. All right. And we got no sympathy for you. Okay. Those of us that are patiently waiting, we got no sympathy for you. Now, you may have the so-called Christians of our people that, oh, let's just all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and wait for sweet Jesus to come save us all. You can have them. Those are dross silver, reprobates. They're no good anyways. They got to be purged out and come back into the kingdom. All right. But the elect, they understand what you did and the crimes that you being brought up on is going to be justified when your sentence is given to you. So let's jump back to Ecclesiasticus 36 and pick back up at verses, 9. It says, let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Right. Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Psalms 2. Why do the heathen rage and the other nations imagine a vain thing? They're not going to escape slavery, no matter how they try to make it seem. Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? They can't get away. They're not going to break the bands, the asunder. It says the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against Yahawah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Right. They think that they're not going to go into slavery. But how so? Okay. If they don't go into slavery, then that means the Lord isn't just. And we know the Lord is just. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go there. This is Zephaniah 3:5. It reads, the just Yahawah is in the midst thereof. See? Let's look up that word just. It's the Hebrew word.
Strong's H, 6662. Sadiq. Sadiq.
It goes into, look at letter B, just, right, righteous, right, correct, lawful. The Lord is just. He's correct. He's right. He's lawful in his judgments. Okay? And how much more these heathens that touch the apple of his eye is expected to get away and imagine a vain thing and rage because they don't want to go into slavery and face their judgment, that they think they're going to cut the bands and cut the bands asunder and cut the cords, the ropes. Nah, you can't postpone your judgment no more than what the Lord has already allowed you to have. Your time has already been written. The vision is for an appointed time. The time that you go into slavery has already been appointed by the Lord, all right? You just waiting to come, you just waiting to be brought up on those charges, okay? The Lord is just. He's not going to forget that, okay? As some man counts slackness, all right? The Lord is not, let's get that, 2 Peter. The Lord is not slack concerning his promises, man. This is 2 Peter 3 and 9. It says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. See? He ain't going to forget. He ain't going to slack up. He knows exactly what he's doing. All right? Trust and believe in YAHAWAH BaHashem YAHAWASHI. Though it tarry, wait for it. This is the thing. We got to exercise our patience and wait. The Lord is not slack. Trust it. If it's written, it's going to come to pass. The Lord is not slack. That word slack mean in the Greek? To delay. That's the Greek word.
Strong's G 1019. Braduno. Braduno.
The Lord is not braduno, slack. The Lord is not slow. He's not delaying. He's not to render slowly. He's not retard, to be long, to tarry, loader. Lord ain't slack, man. He's none of those, man. Everything has its appointed time, even this man's kingdom. And we're at the end of it, which is why you're seeing everything going on now. And things are only going to pick up as the Lord allows things to roll and pick up traction, all right? And you want to make sure you clear so you don't get rolled over, steamrolled, all right? Because if you ain't been marked or exempt, by the Lord, you gonna get steamrolled, roll right over, man. All right? So that's why we sign a crime, man, so the Lord can exempt us from this judgment. All right? So let's get back to it, okay? So the Lord is not slack or delayed or loitering or just chilling. No, he got everything working how it's supposed to be working. As some man count slackness. See, some man say, oh, man, it ain't happening yet. Yeah, he done forgot. See? That's the wicked, all right? Because a sentence against evil isn't executed speedily. The wicked says that what? Let's look at it. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. See? This is why the Lord got to show new signs and wonders, man, all right? Because he got to make his name known, all right? And he's going to bring it, okay? When you see them chariots show up, we ain't never seen, chariots. We seen them, but we ain't going to see them. We haven't seen them to the extent that they get ready to show up with laser beams. See? But it's coming, okay? Because some man counted for slack because, y'all been out there preaching and teaching for decades and ain't nothing happened yet. Okay, keep that same energy when things start to take off, all right? Because it says, as some man count slackness, but it's long suffering to us war, right? The Lord is giving time for the elect to be sealed to that what? They can repent before the great judgment, the great day of the Lord come. It says, not willing that any Israelite should perish, but that all should come to repentance. See? once that message has went out to repent, which we're preaching, and you haven't repented, and he calls in the word, famine of the word, and then he sends out, the death angel, the spirits created for vengeance. That's it. Okay? You are where you at. Unless the Lord shows mercy on you through them times, you through. Okay? So the Lord ain't slack concerning his promises, all right? As some man count slackness, okay? So he's in the just, as it says, Zephaniah 3 and verse 5. It says the just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. See? He's doing he's got everything balanced, the left side and the right side. All right, he's in the middle, balancing it all. It says he will not do iniquity. See, he ain't gonna weigh one side heavier than the other, because that's an unjust balance. He's gonna weigh it the same. So guess what? We had to go through it. You got to go through it. All right. Don't make it more than what it is. You ain't gonna get to ride off into the sunset, and here it is. You know, put us through the ringer, work us to the to the end, you know, and think that's it. No, you gotta see what that feel like too, man. We gotta reciprocate that same type of love you showed us. We're gonna have to show it to you, and then some. It says the just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. See? So he gotta do what he gotta do. All right. He gotta bring this man kingdom to an end. All right. Gotta bring this man kingdom, and then we get the next eternal rulership after that. It's gonna rise a new rulership, a new power. Quam Yasharallah, rise Israel. All right, we got the next eternal rulership after this kingdom is taken down. All right, the just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. Okay, so let's jump back to Ecclesiasticus 36. In verse 10, it says, smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. See? So they got to get broken, man. Like it says, we're going to break them as what? Vessels. Revelation 2 and 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. See? So they got to get broken over the head like a vessel's potter. They're going to get broken. They're going to get it one way or the other, okay? They're going to understand what their role is in the kingdom, man. All right? And they're going to get on board with it. All right, because if not, they're going to get their ass taken care of, man. It says, smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. See, we're going to break that out of them, man. We're going to break them out of that goddamn, hey, we serve. No, we're going to show you how to serve and who to serve. And if you got a problem with it, we're going to break your ass in half, man. All right, we're going to smite you asunder, make you give up the spirit, and we're going to bring you right back. All right, we're going to have those type of powers. All right, it says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning. See? So there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning. So see, the Lord is getting ready to inherit us once again. All right, our captivity is all but up. We just got a few more prophecies, and the Lord is going to gather his elect. It says, O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name. You only have I known. Let's get that. Show you that the Lord ain't dealing with these other nations. Okay? That is Amos 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that Yahawah have spoken against you, O children of Israel. against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, listen closely, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. See, we were given a specific task and we failed it, okay? But it was all part of the story, all right? We had to fail it so that we could what? Be punished so that we can what? Rule as a just power, because we're gods, all right? We're not the most high God, but we're gods. We're rulers. We're judges, all right? And now we can judge equally, because why? We experience it on both sides, the side of being mortals, and eventually we're going to get to experience the side of being what? Immortal. So we're going to know how to judge what? Righteously, all right? So you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Now, let's get this while we're thinking about the Lord being just. And let's go to Proverbs 11. In verse, I saw it was at verse 1. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to Yahweh. So imagine if he punished us. The scale is down low. And he continued to let you get away with it, not judging you to bring the scale back up to balance. That would be a false balance. So the Lord is not what? It says a false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. See? He's about balance. Just. That's that word just. Right. Lawful. Righteous. Okay? This is what the Lord is about. So he's not going to punish us, the apple of his eye, and then let you, someone that he's not even familiar with on that level, get away with it. No. You got to be brought to justice. Okay? So going back to Ecclesiasticus 36. And 11, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning, right? Which we see in the beginning stages, you know, Israel waking up, the elect of Israel waking up. He's gathering them back together. He's getting ready to seal the number of the 144,000 right before the missiles come. And then what? Those that are being ordained from the beginning will be delivered when the missiles come along with the chariots, the so-called UFOs, to destroy this place. It says, O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name. We just read that in Amos 3:1-2. And upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. See? O be merciful unto Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. All right? And I haven't forgot, I still got to do that video on Jerusalem is calling us home. All right? Still got to do it. I'm going to try to make it a live sit down, you know, a live lesson that Jerusalem is calling for its real inhabitants to return. It says, O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. See? We getting ready to have the new covenant. We getting ready to have that law, statute, commandments in our inward parts. All right? We ain't going to have to tell everyone, our neighbor, to know the Lord. They're going to know him from the least to the greatest. All right? We're getting ready to enter into the new covenant. Okay? Well, we don't have to be out on the highway and hedges preaching no more, because our people are going to be righteous. They're going to know the Lord. All right? From the least to the greatest. So it says, O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning. Right, see? So the elect of Israel is going to be what? Given for a testimony. It says, give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. So you see in the prophets that are coming week in and week out to the best of their ability, and they are coming in the names Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, not Jesus, not Christ. All right, not God, but the Father whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son whose name is YAHAWASHI. It says, reward them that wait for thee. See, you have to know how to use patience and exercise waiting. As it says in Zephaniah 3 and 8, wait for me till I rise up to the prey. For my indignation is to what? Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahawah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, the other nations, to pour upon them my indignation. That's his just, all right? For who? The nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, for all the wrongdoings that they did to us. Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. See, them missiles, they gonna hit their target, all right? Each and every last one of them, okay? So let's jump back to Ecclesiasticus. We almost through. 36 and 15. Give testimony to those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, speaking of the Israelites, and raised up prophets that have been in thy name, right? Because you see the prophets being raised up now, all right? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans out there on the highway and hedges, prophesying in the land of our captivity, Babylon the Great, all right? As it says in Revelation 18 and 20. Let's get it. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. See? Who is the her we're rejoicing over? Babylon the Great, the United States of America, being destroyed. For the Most High have avenged you on her. See? So here it is. We have the holy apostles and the prophets here in America. All right. One last time prophesying against this wicked kingdom. Okay. In the land of our captivity. All right. So now we going back to Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 36. In 16, it says, reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. See? What does it say in Revelation chapter 3? Here is the patience. Revelation 3. Where we at? Come on now. Flowing with it. Don't let me get Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Check this out. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, all right, which are Israelites, all right? But the prophets, the servants, they the ones that's really waiting, all right, along with the innumerable multitude of men, women, and children. They the only ones waiting, the elect of Israel, for this judgment to be brought forth, okay? So now that we got that understanding, let's jump back. We almost through. We're going to go down to verse 17. We at 16, so we just about through now. It says, reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. Verse 17, O Lord, hear the prayer of thy servants according to the blessings of Aaron over thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Lord, the eternal power. See? That's what we praying for. All we want to know, all we want is for the world to know who the eternal power is. Okay? Firsthand. Okay? And to have mercy on his elect. That's it. It ain't too complicated. We don't like to make things complicated. Let the world, be reintroduced to the eternal power. The Alessandra, the demon-like power. Okay? Almighty. YAHAWAH, Sham YAHAWASHI. They don't fell asleep. The Lord gonna wake them up. He got the remedy to get them up out their bed. He gonna set a little fire to their feet, get them moving quick. They gonna be able to see who he is. Okay. But we want him to have mercy on us. Okay, his elect. All right. So this has been another lesson on the Lord is just. All right. The eternal power is just. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with 1 Peter 5 and 8. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, don't go to sleep thinking that you good just because you found out you're an Israelite. No, man, you got to continue to wait and be patient. Don't fall asleep while you waiting. That's why the Lord gave us, tasks and jobs to complete while he's away. So we don't go to sleep after waking up. All right. We can't fall back to sleep. You feel your eyelids getting heavy. All right. You close your eyes, they flutter a few times, and the next thing you know, you waking up to fire all around you. All right. Now, be sober, man. All right. Do the work. Keep busy. Okay. We just waiting. All right. Well, we don't want to fall back to sleep. As it says, let us not sleep like others do. All right. We don't want to go back into that deep sleep, celebrating Christmas and birthdays and holidays and eating all abominable type of foods and, just doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing. All right. Because why? We fell into the stage of he ain't coming. The Lord slacking. See? No, you don't want to have that type of mentality, that mindset. You got to have that mindset like he could show up anytime. All right? Anytime. Okay? And you don't want to be found putting the plow down and sleeping up under a tree somewhere and getting woken up by damn missiles shooting everywhere and hitting everywhere around you. So we're going to continue to be sober and be vigilant. Watch. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Because if you not, he going to find out where you at. The Lord going to give him your address. Oh, yeah, you got one sleeping over here. Go ahead and pay that a visit. Oh, yeah, one over there out there partying and ain't watching and measuring the time diligently. Go ahead and pop up and show him up over there and let him see what's going on. See? So we watching, man. And we patiently watching. All right? Because we know what's happening when it happens. Okay? So that's going to be pretty much it. With that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.